In this video, I'm walking you through exactly how I prepare, the question I practice, the model answers I built, and the real mindset that got me ready for my Jinan University SIMBA program interview. And I will tell you raw and straightforward answers from someone who left a stable job and an international career to chase this. Okay, so imagine that right now you are sitting across from a university interview admission panel and you have only one shot, one moment to convince them that you are worth the nomination for a fully funded MBA in the middle of the Pearl River Delta region. And then it happens. They ask you something and your mind goes blank. That's what happened to a lot of people that I know, not to me, and I'm going to tell you exactly why it worked. But first, let me ask you something. Why are you here watching this video? Are you scared that the interview will expose your career switch? Or are you worried that they will tear apart your reason for choosing China? Or you are doubting that if you're actually qualified or not? Yeah, most people feel one of those three things, and I felt all the three at the same time. So let's walk through this together. Section 1 is make them see themselves. So here's what nobody tells you. These interviews aren't really about the answers. They are about whether you are in control of your story. Let me show you what I mean. The question that they always open with, tell us about yourself and why you're applying for the SIMBA MBA at Jinan University. Now, before I give you my answer, think about yours for a second. Now, most people start with their job and their title. Don't do that. That's what every other candidate probably does. Now, here is what I did instead that got me to the scholarship criteria. Section 2 is the foundation, the answer. So what I said is, good afternoon, my name is Pritam Sarkar. Over the past 7 years, I have worked luxury hospitality operations across the US, in Nashville and in Indianapolis, and then Riyadh and the Red Sea region of Saudi Arabia with brands like JW Marriott, Hyatt Regency, Ritz-Carlton Reserve, and Sofitel. I moved from pure execution on the line to leading teams and controlling cost and helping to build 2 brand new hotels from absolute scratch from the pre-opening phase. And that's when it hit me that I pretty much know how to run a day-to-day operation. Now I wanted to learn how to build one operation strategically. That one line, you can write that down. That can be your turning point, as any punchline curated with your experience. It have to land in their mind like one subtle thing, right? And then I explained like why Jinan, because Guangzhou sits at the center of the Pearl River Delta. Food manufacturing, logistics, international commerce happening every single day. Studying inside that ecosystem instead of reading about it from 10,000 miles away, that's something that no other program gives me. I make them understand that I want to be there. I want to be inside. And the real truth underneath that, I'm not running away from something, I'm running towards something. There is a massive difference. Make sure that your answer reflects that. Now come to the tough question. This one stings a little bit. Okay, now for the one that actually threatens people a little bit, threatens the student. They ask like, you have spent 7 years in hospitality operation. Why should we believe that you are ready for a supply chain and business strategy right now? I want you to feel that question for a second, because what is really asking is, are you just running away from the kitchen, or you are actually running towards something, if that makes sense. Now, here's the mistake people make often. They defend themselves. That's a wrong move. Here is what you should do instead. You need to reframe it. So I said, I wasn't just cooking. I was already doing some supply chain work without the title. Every single day, I was managing stocks, coordinating with the purchasing team, controlling the food cost, building the inventory systems. Those 2 pre-opening hotels in Saudi, we started with nothing. I had to organize the chaos, build from zero, leading teams through uncertainty. When the supply chain breaks down the hotel, the guest feels it in hours, not in like days, but in hours, in real time. Now, Most people study supply chain theory. I lived it in the real time, because if a supply chain is broken, there is wasted labors, wasted product, guest failures, and I wasn't tired of the kitchen actually. I outgrew myself, and now I am ready for what comes next. Now you can pause this for 10 seconds, write down that what is the one thing that you've been already doing that connects to your new beginning of your new study. Don't say that it doesn't exist. It does, and you have to find it. Now the money question. They didn't ask me this, but you should always prepare it, okay? So the question about funding, I prepared an answer anyway, and that's actually the difference between the people who will land the offer and the people who don't. So always be ready. The question I got, that if you don't get the scholarship, are you still joining? And how will you fund it? You can blow it if you sound desperate or arrogant. You need to be somewhere between in the middle. I said that scholarship or not, I will be here. I have planned my finances carefully. After 7 years of working internationally, I am open to any student financing that many MBA students doing nowadays. Then this is the key part. But it would be an honor to earn the nomination for the scholarship, not because I cannot manage, but because it shows that Jinan University believes in me and my potential. So that would push me to give even more to the program. So actually, you are not begging. You are saying that I'm committed either way, but if you believe in me, I will give my absolute best. That's the reframe that works. The next question was the 5-year vision, where they really gonna test you. So where do you see yourself in 5 years, and why China specifically? The question sounds simple. It's not. They are really asking, are you using our MBA or are you using China as a backup? I said in 5 years, I want to be leading, sourcing a supply chain for a multinational company in food and beverage sector. First 2 years in Guangdong, I will be learning from the market inside and the supply relationship I will build. I will learn the trade flows and building real networks. Then the flip. They always ask you why China instead of India, right? Why not India? I have heard that one. This is the honest part, because I want to understand the source of most of the world's food imports flow through is Guangdong. If learning the supply chain at the origin where logistics meet the manufacturing, and I can apply that expertise anywhere in the world, including back to India later. So this is where the world trades is happening. And I want to be inside rather than sit on the sidelines. Now, you are not running away from India. You are using China as the best classroom in the world for what you actually want to do. Make that your frame. So the next was a setback story. This is where they judge your character. So they asked me about like a serious setback. So this time you need to play it well. This actually matters because it shows that you are someone who takes control or someone who makes excuses. I said the biggest setback was a decision that I made myself. After 7 years building a career abroad, stable income, recognized brands, I walked away and I came back to India with no title, no salary, just a plan. Those first week were very uncomfortable. But here's the thing. A setback and a decision can look identical from outside. The difference is going to be that whether you are in control of the narrative. I choose this and I will choose it again. If you are going to talk about setback, make sure by the end of the story, you're the person who did something about it. Okay? Not the person that the thing happened to. I hope that makes sense. That's the character trait that they are looking for. Control, agency, and momentum. You need to have mix of all three in that case. Now, on the next was strength versus weakness, right? A classic version. I was honest. So the biggest strength, I said, when I decide something matters, I find a way. No excuse. I worked 12 to 13 hours in a kitchen shifts and still I hit the IELTS band-aid in a small window of time. So no small feat. I can also build from zero. Those 2 Saudi pre-opening taught me how to organize chaos and lead the team through uncertainty. And it's crucial to talk about your weakness as well in the right way. You can say, for my case, I said that I micromanage processes to ensure quality in the kitchen, and I could touch every plate. In the supply chain, I cannot touch every container. So I'm learning to trust the system and delegate outcomes rather than dictating every step. So it's uncomfortable, but this MBA, I hope, will force me to do it strategically rather than just being paranoid. Don't say you have no weaknesses. Do say that you have weakness and that you are actively working on because of the MBA. That shows growth mindset. Now, the AI question, and this was I did not expect at all. They asked me why AI is important. Is it good or bad? Can humans actually use it? So this is the test to see you if you actually think about the world or you just consuming it. I said, look, at scale, AI is already reshaping everything. It's so binded within our lives right now. And then I give them the both sides. On the good side, the tools like Claude are breaking old monopolies. It can now write the COBOL code, a legacy system that only a few experts handled before. That democratized tech. On the caution side, even advanced models have their limits, and there is news about Claude's team not wanting to hand full resources to the Pentagon yet because it's not ready at that scale. So humans still guide it. It says the strategy, makes the judgment call, and AI amplifies the capability, but it doesn't replace the human direction, especially in the supply chains where the real world stakes matter. The real answer they want you to think is think critically. You see both upside and risk. You are not a hype person, but you are a grounded person. You need to show them that. Now, I made some questions for the panel as well. Here's the thing that most people miss as the interview goes both ways. When they ask, do you have any questions for us? That's when you actually show that you did some homework. So I asked two questions. The first was, since I come from operation background, how varied is the professional experience in the cohort? Means like, what are the cohort students is coming from, what background they are coming from? Because for my understanding, the richest learning in an MBA that happens between student as much it happens in the classroom. And the second question was, what the scenario? The scenario for industry exposure, internship, company visits, guest speaker, in supply chain, in the Pearl River Delta. Is there any prospects? How things are looking? All this stuff. So I prepare. Why this work is that you're not going to be asking about fees and any kind of other logistics. You're just asking about learning and experience. That shows that you are very serious about it and serious about the program, not just the credentials of the university. All right, so here's the real stuff. This isn't about memorizing answer. It's about controlling your narrative from the start to the end. Before you click away, I want you to do this. Take 10 minutes, open a document or any piece of paper, answer these 3 questions for yourself, not for me, not for any other people, but for your admission. Question 1 is, what have I already been doing that connects to my new career? Question 2 is that, what am I choosing this country, this program, or not running away from something? And question 3 is, what's the one setback that I turned into a choice? Now, if you can answer those 3 questions with your honesty, you're already ahead of 80% candidates in the interview as far as the storytelling goes. Again, remember that you should always have some strong answer ready for the interview. And here's the thing. This prep, it's not about tricking them. It's about knowing yourself so well that when they ask you anything, you don't panic. You just tell the truth with your structure that you already built. For me, China is not a backup plan. It is the plan. And when I sat in that interview, they could feel that. Make sure when you sit down, they can feel it too. Now you can drop your biggest interview fear in the comments and I will actually reply. Subscribe if this helps, and I'm going to document the full journey of my application to arrival in Guangzhou. See you in the next one.